Hey guys, Rob here at 3D Printscape. Today we're going to talk about info percentages. I printed out this nice model that we'll use for examples. I'm going to link to the actual model in the description below so you have it for reference. But what we're going to do is we'll go through each one of these from 0 to 100%, kind of go over when it makes sense to use each one of them. We'll get a couple weights to kind of talk about the differences in the actual material used between the percentages, and then towards the end we'll put all of it on a spreadsheet and kind of talk about what it actually means. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, before we get started here, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe. It'll really help the channel out. Alright, so let's go ahead and move this off to the side here, and we'll go ahead and bring the first one in. Here we're looking at 0%. There is no infill at all. All we have is a shell. The shell is 2 layers. This is going to be the lightest one, obviously. Let me go ahead and grab my scale real quick. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back here with the scale, so let's go ahead and get some weights. Alright, so let's go ahead and weigh this guy. This is 3.86 grams. So I'm going to go ahead and record that over here. I'll start putting these on the screen to the right as we weigh them, and then at the end I'm going to have an Excel sheet that we'll go over so we have all of them covered. Alright, so 3.86. Now for the rest of the infill percentages, anything above and beyond that 3.86 is going to be pure infill weight. So let's go ahead and move this off to the side here, and we'll take a look at our 5%. So at 5%, as you can see, there's still quite a bit of open space. I don't think we're using much extra filament here, but let's go ahead and weigh it and we'll find out. Alright, this guy is 4.84. So it's about just shy of 1 gram heavier than the 0% infill. So let's move this off to the side. Alright, let's go ahead and move up to 10%. So here we're starting to get a little bit more material inside. It's going to be a little bit stronger. For a lot of your models and things like that, this 10% is going to be decent, especially if you increase the shell. So if you go to 3 or 4 layers on the shell and then do a 10 or 15% infill, it's going to be more than strong enough. But let's get our weight here. Alright, make sure it's zeroed out. Alright, so we are at 5.62 grams. Alright, sorry you can't really see the weight. I want to make sure that I'm recording it accurately, so if I shift it, it's going to move the weight around. See here, it's jumping around quite a bit. So we're actually at 5.62 though. Alright, let's jump up to 15% here. As you can see, there's a little bit more material in there. We're starting to get more of our grid pattern. Like if we compare it to our 10%, you can see that there's a significant difference here. That's going to be less of the case as we start getting into the higher percentages. At least you won't be able to actually see it. It'll be there in the weight and the material used. But let's go ahead and get a weight here. Make sure we're zeroed out. And we are at 6.41 grams. Like I was mentioning before, your 10 to 15% is going to be pretty common for a lot of your model type patterns. If you do need a little bit more strength, it makes sense to add a couple layers to the shell versus adding the additional percentage to the infill. It's going to use less material and be better overall for your models or minifigures. Alright, let's set this guy off to the side. Alright, next we'll jump up to 20%. As you can see, there's still a decent bit of open space here, but we're starting to get a good pattern. For most of your standard prints, you're probably going to be between 20 and 30%. This is a really common starting point. So let's go ahead and get a good weight here. And we are at 7.19 grams. Alright, now let's jump up to 25%. So we're starting to get a little bit more material in there, especially if you compare it to your 10% here as an example. I mean, it's pretty substantial. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that weight again. Make sure this is zeroed out. All right, we're good. All right, we're at 7.86 grams. Alright guys, for the sake of time, I'm going to start doing 2 of these at a time. So let's go ahead and start with 30 and 35. Here we have 30%, here we have 35%. As you can see, there's still a decent bit of open area in there, but we're starting to fill out quite nicely. Like I mentioned before, I'll use 20 to 30% for standard prints. I typically don't go 35 or 40% often. If I'm doing anything that's functional, kind of like a bookshelf arm or anything like that, I'll go 50 to 70%. But let's go and get these weights. Bring this guy over here, turn it on. All right, we are zeroed. All right, so 8.61 for 30%. And 9.39 for 35%. So let's move these off to the side now. And let's take a look at 40 and 50%. Here we've got 40% on the left and 50% on the right. We're starting to get less and less open area in here. At 50%, this is a pretty solid and strong part. I might use 50% or sometimes a little bit higher for anything that's going to be functional, like a bookshelf arm or any type of part that I'm printing that needs to be strong or relied on. I would typically use 50 to 70% for things like that. I very rarely will go above 70%. Actually, once you get up to 100%, if you try to print that, you're going to have some over extruding issues. But let's go and grab the weights on these. Make sure we're zeroed. All right. So at 40%, we're using 10.18 grams. Then here at 50%, we are using 11.78 grams. All right, now we're going to get into the top row. Like I was mentioned, I might use 50 to 70% for anything that's going to be a functional print. So here's 60% on the left and 70% on the right. At this point, you got a pretty solid part here. The infill is going to be quite strong, and you're using a significant amount of material to account for that, not to mention the extra time for the print. So if you're going to use things at this percentages, make sure that you're accounting for the extra material and time. All right, so let's grab our weights. Here at 60%, we've got 13.36. And at 70%, we've got 14.94. Right. Now we'll go up to 80 and 90%. As you can see here, there's really no open area at all. It's pretty much all material. 80% here is on the left, 90% on the right. You typically won't use this, but I wanted to make sure I can show it. And let's go ahead and grab our weights. 80 is 16.59 grams. Sorry if the marker keeps going in the camera. I'm recording it as we're going here. And then 90 is 18.08 grams. All right, then our last one is 100%. As you can see, we had a little bit of over extruding at the top, so it's not perfectly smooth. That's because there's nowhere for the extra material to go. The only time I've actually used 100% here is if I'm printing any type of models for testing or for calibration. There's a nice one that I'll link below. I wish I had it around here, I'd show it to you. But that one they recommend printing at 100% just because it has an overhang and you're trying to see how accurate your printer is printing. But yeah, this is our 100%. It's like a solid cube here. Well, it is a solid cube. But let's go ahead and grab our weight. It's 19.54 grams. Alright, so now let's go back and talk about the differences here. So that's 19.54 grams. If we looked at our 0% again, this is 3.86 grams. So we're using almost 16 grams of extra filament going from hollow to 100%. And if you're doing anything on a larger scale, that adds up quickly. Not to mention the extra time, which I'll talk about here shortly. Alright, now let's jump over to the computer. I'll put all this on a chart that's easy for us to read, and we'll talk about it a bit more. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks. Alright guys, I have all the data that we were looking at before on the Excel sheet. Went ahead and marked all the percentages that we were talking about and that we did the comparison on. Went over the weight and then added the print time, which we haven't talked about yet. I also added an estimated cost based on two factors. One, which is the power of my area, that's 12 cents per kilowatt hour, and then material being 0.022 cents per gram. I'll add a link in the description below, but I have an article that covers how to calculate this. It's actually a pretty good article. If you haven't read it, I recommend you checking it out. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about these numbers. So as you can see, obviously, our 0% infill is going to be the cheapest, use the least amount of material, and print the quickest. But again, that's 0%. So that's not going to be viable for most print options. On your standard prints being 20 to 30%, you're looking at only an extra couple minutes based on 0%. So we're talking, what, 4 or 5 minutes extra, and then costing up to double, depending upon what you choose. So your 0% being 10 cents versus your 30% being 20 cents here. So it's clear that you're using a decent bit more filament here, but the actual print time hasn't increased too much. So overall, for most prints, this is probably going to be where you fall. Now, if you're looking at printing models or minifigures, you're probably going to be in this category here. So you're going to save a little bit of money on actual material. And then if you're starting to print anything on the functional level, you're probably going to be somewhere in this range, which starts to increase the print time pretty dramatically, and then the cost as well. So you're talking over 3 times the cost and about 1.5 times as long to print. And this is a small print, so if you multiply that out for something larger, it can add up pretty quickly. And then going down to your 100%, as you can see here, it's 4.6 times the cost to print. It took over 2 times the amount of time to print, and then obviously you're using about 16 grams of additional filament. So go ahead and leave a comment below on what settings you guys typically use for each. I'm curious to know what everybody does. I mean, like I said, these are what I do. 10 to 15% for model, 20 to 30% for just standard prints, and then 50 to 80% or 50 to 70% for any of the functional prints that I do. And then if I'm doing any type of model or calibration that requires 100%, that's going to be the only time I use that. But again, I'm curious to see what you guys do, so please leave a comment below going over that. I did start to create a section of the video going over breaking points for each of the actual percentages. I'll go ahead and do a quick clip for the 0%. It wasn't viable based on what I was using. The actual shell was stronger than I thought, so the stand that I created just didn't work out. I do want to get a hydraulic press at some point so I can actually try to get accurate breaking points of these. I'm curious to see what the breaking point for each of these are, and if the actual chart would be linear, or is there a certain point where the return on the extra filament is just not there. So I'm trying to figure out options. Hopefully I'll have that in a video coming up in the next couple months. I just got to figure out what type of options I have there. So let's go ahead and jump over to that. But before we do, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright guys, that covers everything related to infill percentages. Make sure you leave a comment below going over what you use, why you use it. Most of this is subjective, so I'm just curious what everybody uses. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.